Hi there, my name is Isaac Steiner, and today I will talk to you about the many benefits of sports. Sports are something that almost every single person is interested in, especially those with a competitive drive. And I think that sports actually have more benefits than people actually realize on their overall well-being or happiness. One of the first and most important benefits of sports is the mental benefit. Your mind's something that's really important and needs to be sharpened throughout your entire life. And I think it's the early childhood, like putting your kids in sports, all the way up through playing sports as an adult, really does a great job of sharpening your mind. You learn how to push your mental limits and you play sports. You learn that even though things get really tough and hard, that you can't just quit, that you have to push through, and you have people in your life that help teach you that, to push you through. There's also more confidence that you acquire through playing sports. When you work really hard at something and then finally do it, especially when you have all those people around you, it really boosts your confidence. Just like when you play baseball or something and you practice, you can never hit that ball. And then once you do a great job and you hit that ball and you knock it out the park. Right now, I think quitting is something that's really popular among the young people, and I think it's something that everybody just assumes is not a big deal, but honestly, to me, it is a really big deal. I think a recent Gallup poll shows that 60% of millennials believe that it's okay to quit their job or whatever they're working at and just move on to the next best thing. I think that's something that could be changed if more people played sports and that they'd have more commitment and devotion to the thing that they're doing instead of just giving up when things get tough. And I think that's why sports are so important, is because even when things get tough, you have to keep playing through it, and it's not something you can just quit. There's also a physical benefit to sports. It helps you stay in shape. A lot of that physical activity every single day is super important. Right now, a shocking statistic is that about 1 in every 6 kids in the United States right now is considered clinically obese, and that was reported by the CDC in 2015. That's ridiculous. That 20% of our population, before they're even reaching the age of 18, are considered obese, and that's something that needs to be changed. I think sports are a great way for those young kids to get developed into healthy habits of being active and being outside and learning that that's something they should be doing. And it also helps prevent injury, increase muscle tone, do those things that actually might benefit you in the ways that you don't realize. When you get in an accident, you fall over, you get in a bike accident or car accident, those muscles are actually help prevent injuries for you in the future. Other physical benefits of children that play sports, or even adults that play sports, is that they have something to do. Idle hands sometimes breed poor decisions, and I think that a lot of times there's a lot of children that have nothing to do, and so sports are an outlet for them to stay out of trouble, especially right now with inner cities and places that are really poor. There's just not a lot of outlets for kids to do things, and I think sports are a great way to keep kids off the streets and keep kids out of trouble and keep them focused and driven towards making a goal. The American Medical Association released a survey that over 14,000 Americans who play sports, out of all those people, they were less likely to do drugs and had much lower rates of drug abuse among all those athletes. The NCAA also reported that all of their athletes have much lower rates of drug abuse and alcohol abuse than anybody else who does not play sports. Teenagers in sports are way less likely to do drugs, smoke, and or even carry weapons or have unhealthy eating habits. All those things are directly researched through the CDC and are actually pretty shocking. Lastly, one of the most important things are the social benefits. Socially, that's one of the most important parts of being a child, and as you develop, is developing good social habits and being able to socialize with other people, especially adults. I think one of the most important things is for the kids to not be afraid of adults, to be able to voice their opinions, but also have respect for authority. And I think sports is a great way for children and young teenagers to understand what authority is in a healthy way and know that there's respect for that needs to be given. Sports really can change people's lives because they create some of the most long-lasting friendships. A lot of kids that I know that were homeschooled didn't have the opportunity to go to a public school or a private school, didn't have a lot of friends, but they were able to get those friends through sports. And I think that's something that helped them develop and help their well-being and their life so much more than they can ever imagine. Lastly, to conclude, there is nothing enlightening about shrinking yourself and fear of making those around you insecure. One of my favorite athletes, Wayne Gretzky, said that. I think that pushing yourself to do everything you can in excellence is something that is super important. And I think the more people that we have in our society that work really hard and are driven to accomplish goals and aren't afraid of authority and have positive physical habits, especially when it comes to working out and staying active, I think those are the key things that can keep our society away from depression, suicide, and having a much higher overall well-being. Thank you. Have a nice day.